good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the Upset Podcast. We are back here live on the grounds, and as you can see, we are under the Grand Pavilion where all of the festivities, some of the festivities happened yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had the whole crew here with us. Well, not the whole crew. You know, we're missing our buddy.
Always the favorite.
We're missing the favorite.
The celebrity.
But he'll be with us in the chat, so we look forward to hearing from him. We're going to talk a little bit more about Tally from yesterday because he was the ram in the thicket, but...
And definitely in the place.
Yes, he really brought it down. So, all right, guys, I feel like usually we talk about current events, but for us, most of us, camp meeting has consumed our whole week. We need you guys to catch us up with what's been going on in the world. So,
True that.
We're really primarily just going to start talking about camp meeting. Now, last week we were talking about what was to come.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about
What was? What it was.
And it's always something to and first of all, we want to thank our viewing audience. It was great to meet so many of you in
Indeed.
person. That was so awesome. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the comments we heard from you all. That was great. But please share this with someone. We always want you to share this podcast. We hear your comments, your feedback, and we're like, if you feel that way, maybe someone else listening will feel that way. So continue to share the podcast. All right, and we're going to read some of your comments from the chat. So if there are any lingering things you want to share about camp meeting, your experience, please do it. We'll read some of those. All right, guys. So where do we really start, man? I mean,
it was so much.
There was so much. Let's talk about the early morning services. That was the kind of the first thing.
Yeah.
People are waking up at 7 a.m.
7 o'clock in the morning. First of all, let me start at around 5:45 in the morning. Some of the pastors were here to help with parking, and I drive by the pavilion and I see, I believe it was Chuck Williams, working assiduously in the pavilion. And I wondered how long they were there the night before. But early in the morning, before the sun came up, they were here in the pavilion setting things up. And, of course, Dr. Marcellus Robinson spoke for that early morning service.
Yes.
And I talked to him after he preached. He sweated out his whole shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
He preached the word, and it was inspiring.
Yes, he did. Yes.
But before we get there, GP, you're getting excited here now. We got to start with
During
the
the
virtual
week.
Yeah.
That's true.
I know it's like when we had yesterday. It's like the rest of the week didn't
It was
happen,
just,
right?
It was just one day. It was just one day.
Yeah.
But that felt like the holy camp.
That was the
Exactly.
whole 12-hour day.
But every morning service was fantabulous. I mean, every speaker.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, really
I think
good.
it was the ordinance, right? That was
Yeah.
All the
particular
ordinance.
morning.
Yeah,
It was
every
awesome.
morning.
Yeah, and it was great because I saw someone that sent in a comment. They felt like they knew the ordinance by the time they got to ordination because of the messages that they shared. And I thought that was a great idea. I mean, we've done that before using some of them, but it just so happened that we had 5. So it was nice,
5 days.
evenly spread out throughout the week. But they did an awesome job. People in the chat early on. I just want to give a shout out to all those
I couldn't
diehard
speak
viewers.
at
Yeah.
all. I was
In
so
the
sleepy
chat.
trying
I
to
I
keep
think
my
we were
eyes.
averaging a little bit more in the virtual early morning than we were in the past.
Yeah.
Because during regular camp meeting, in-person camp meeting, usually early morning service, you saw like 15 people.
Yeah.
They'll straggle in later,
Right.
but we were averaging 250 to 300
In the morning?
in the
Yeah.
morning.
Wow.
The morning service.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Excellent.
people were used to come back and watch them later, like after they had
Right.
gotten dressed or at work, but they were engaging as early as
And we
started.
were formatting it a little differently. The last couple of years, we just kept things going, but we had a break, and I think that was a good thing. I mean, not that we. Let's hope we don't have to do virtual anymore. But what we learned is that folk appreciated that break.
Right.
You know, after the morning services, the AM services.
Yeah.
Then they can go and and have at least 2 to 3 hours to do whatever the rest of their day, and then be back for the afternoon service.
I also want to put a shout out to our youth leader,
All right.
all right.
Okay.
whoever he is sitting at the end of the table,
Right.
because those seminars were excellent
Yeah,
on
just,
how to communicate with our young people. I mean, both speakers were so excellent, and I was sharing with my youth department, hey, we got to listen to this, you know.
Yeah.
There's, those are the young people we really want to capture and regain the ones that we lost, you know, and the information was so powerful. I saw one of them on the campus yesterday, and I thanked him for his presentation. And so I just wanted to thank you, sir. It was just excellent.
A good guy, Carson. His name is Pastor
No,
Carson.
no, you talking about Darnisha Thomas and Miguel Cyril?
Before Darnisha,
Carson.
the one, yeah,
Carson.
yeah,
You are talking about
Yeah,
Miguel.
he's-
Carson, right.
he-
He was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out.
he was really good. And what was
everybody.
the speaker that did? Did he do Friday?
No, he didn't do Friday, but he did the
Was it
Monday,
Thursday?
Tuesday,
And
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Who did Thursday?
Just Way.
When at the
Pierre.
elder from
Pierre.
yes,
Mhm,
yes,
General
from
Conference.
Capitol Hill. He was excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I encourage all of our subscribers. By the way, we went up in subscribership.
Yes.
Nice.
It's not too late. You can subscribe if
Help
you
us, folk. We want to get to 5,000.
Yes.
By the end of the year, 10,000, and we might get a plaque.
Just keep putting subscribe each time.
Just
But what I want to do is encourage everyone to go to the playlist because
Yes.
you know, a lot of that material is not one and done. You can take one of those seminars, bring your young people back in the afternoon, show it on your church media,
Discuss it.
and then take notes and then discuss it. I mean, you can really get a lot of mileage out of those presentations. So go to the playlist
Yes.
and select
Utilize it.
something that, you know, collectively your church or your young people can watch again and then try to get, you know.
Like do a rap session.
Absolutely.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Look at all those free AY programs.
I just want
Absolutely.
to say that because I think it's important. When we were over at the youth at the gym, one of the things I want to let them know is that we can't blame the pandemic. Some things were happening before the pandemic.
Right.
Some of the things were dying out before the pandemic. So I think it's a great deal to be able to go back to the YouTube channels and look through those again and use those, even if it's not for AY, it could be for your leadership. It could be for your leadership.
Sure.
Yeah,
Be for your leadership.
absolutely.
There was also a session on, I think it was Friday. It was about Sabbath school. I thought that was
Yes.
pretty informative. It was Pierre Francois from Florida, in Southeastern Conference. But I was listening for a few minutes, and I learned a few things, and I was like, I need to share this information with somebody else.
With
who
your
can
new
benefit
church
from
that's
it.
coming up, or
Pardon?
At the new church you're going to?
No, that actually was a playback
Oh,
Yes, it
from
was.
a series that our Ministries Development has been doing. I don't know if you guys may have seen some flyers about Ministries Development every Saturday at 4 p.m.
Yep.
That was such a great presentation. It's usually held in Zoom. We were like, more people need to see this. It's so
Yeah,
impactful. And so we were
yeah.
able to repurpose that. And it was a lot of great information, as you mentioned.
that was great content to repurpose. Kudos.
And just to throw a shout out at the youth services, those speakers were excellent as well.
Yes.
Darnisha Thomas.
Yeah.
I just knew I had to go with her. You know, she's
Excellent.
she just excelled over the years. And like I said before, I used to teach her, so I feel old. And because I am Miguel Saran.
He's very good.
Yeah, very good. And I don't want to, you know, I looked at him for virtual because we had started talking about virtual, and you know, he's got the camera and he got all of this and all that, and then it was time for us to do the Sabbath. You know, I started to and I've talked to him about this, don't worry about it. You know? And I did say, you know, I wonder if he's ready for prime time. And he's not a novice at all as far as it's concerned, but it went well. You know, all the things that you're thinking about that could go wrong or what can go wrong, musicians and all of this. God just had this whole thing under control from day one. So I want to thank Miguel and Darnisha for doing
Yeah.
such a great job during the week and also at the end of the week.
It's excellent.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about all these names and seminars and sermons that we're mentioning is that, as Charles said, you can go back and watch them. So
Yep.
Yes.
even if you missed it live, it's still available at your fingertips wherever you're watching this right now, as a matter of fact.
And you know what? I would go so far as to say our pastors need to look at those seminars.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially those youth
Thor-
ones. that you
thoroughly.
want
Youth ones
to
were good.
Yeah.
draw them to
thoroughly.
your church. Absolutely.
Because I had a few weeks ago, I had a personal encounter with young man in our church. He's a professional. And he just called me aside. I was there at this particular church for a meeting, and he called me aside and he said, can I speak to you for a moment, before I was leaving? And he was expressing a feeling that he had inside about his relationship with the church, not his relationship with God, relationship with the church. And we talked about it for a while, and he was feeling a measure of guilt for feeling the way he felt. He was, born and raised in the church, but what he was expressing was that the church today, for him as a young person, young adult, just was not providing what he needed. And by him feeling that, he felt alone. He felt like, well, am I the odd guy? Am I the strange guy? And I said, absolutely not. I said, there are tens of thousands of young adults who they have a feeling, but they're afraid to voice it. Because they may get shamed, or you know how we can get very conservative approach. So when I told him that really there are a lot of young people who feel that way, you are not alone. And I'll tell you, after that conversation, it was just 20 minutes. He felt relieved. He said, "Oh, okay."
That he's being heard.
Yes,
and someone
and it's
is
okay
listening.
to feel that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the chat during Carson's presentation, they were saying, well, I want my pastor to hear this, or we need this at my church. And I think this is, once again, another great opportunity to share this, because I think what I appreciated about what he shared during the week was it wasn't a lot of theory. He had a lot of very practical things. He told you what young people like. He told you why they will actually get on FaceTime with you and let their phones face the ceiling because they just want to know you're there. They don't necessarily want to see you. It's things like that you're not even thinking about. I saw a lot of people responding, older adults saying, wow, I never knew that. Now I know. And I think if more adults knew what kids were really thinking, they could maybe relate to them a little bit more. So that was really transformational series. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you go back to our YouTube.
You know what was funny about that? He was saying, I think both speakers brought this out, that young people love texting, and one of the generations, I think the Gen Zs, they like face-to-face communication, but via video calls, right? And not one-on-one. But it is interesting. You only want to communicate with me through texting, but you say, I want fellowship, right? So as older people, we want fellowship. We want to talk to you. We want to speak voice to voice or something like that. But you don't want that. Just text. And sometimes they text me letters and novels. I was like, they really expect me to read all this and then respond, and so you have to, communicate their way. But it was super interesting.
Now, I don't know how many of you were able to log in for the prayer garden. We had a noon prayer garden, and it was great. Sister Sandra Austin, she led that out with getting different speakers throughout the week to talk about different areas of prayer, and then breaking out into the rooms. And one of the things I observed from being there is, wow, prayer, there's something about prayer that brings people together, because when we were going to breakout room, I thought it was going to be a 10-minute breakout. Everybody's going to come back. Those prayer breakout rooms were like 20, 25 minutes because people had so many things that were on their hearts, and just hearing others pray for those things was just so transformational. And I was like, wow, God, we need to do more of that. We need to do more of like praying with one another, uplifting each other, taking other people's requests before the Father. So that was really impactful. We're also going to put those messages
because they were really good. I think I made 3 of the 5, but they were, and then I think she had different churches lead out, with their prayer ministries, and it was really, really good.
Yes, it was. Now, I didn't see any of you at the 50 plus.
That is correct.
That's right.
That is correct.
We had this talk last week. You were supposed to show up for the 50 plus.
Well, the 50 plus probably don't extend to that end, except when you get the Chuck button. This end.
I know you guys were busy.
We don't really do the.
But it was really nice. It was really nice because it highlighted, and I was there just to help, but it really highlighted a lot of the work that the 50 Plus has been doing throughout our conferences. There were so many churches that shared what their 50 Plus clubs were doing. And one leader from, I think she was from Ephesus Church, she shared that the 50 plus is really the ones leading out the community service.
Oh.
Well, a lot of it, they're most available. And so they were sharing all the different projects that they've done to be able to give back to the community. So it was really impactful to see that the 50 plus club is not just, coming together for meetings, but they're actively involved in their churches.
Workers.
And they're doing a lot
That
of
is
awesome
true.
things.
They do most of the church work.
So we want to give a shout out to the 50 plus. Please join your local 50 plus club if you have one. Okay, now let's move to the evening services. That's usually where our highest viewership is, right? In the evening, people have gotten off work, they're ready to chill, eat dinner, and listen to the word. Those were also awesome set.
Very good sermons,
messages.
All of them.
People were just bringing the heat. I mean, it was on point, and the theme. Everyone did a great job of kind of weaving the theme into their messages, and it was powerful, very powerful. And I heard Pastor Jules, the last one, he kind of ended the virtual experience for us, and that was a very powerful message, So check all
So
that
go
out.
back and watch, subscribe, ring the bell,
Here we go.
subscribe, tell your friends.
And then, the other side of it is, and I'm not, trying to. I didn't hear a lot of them, but I got a lot of feedback on a lot. I know I will definitely will, because we have a lot of viewers, and everyone thinks that we're watching at the same time that they're watching. So you're getting all the play-by-plays, and this is what they said, and this is the hook line in this sermon, and so forth. And then you say, "All right, I'll get to it." Because Chuck, it's good to see you. I have not seen you the whole time.
Yeah,
Man behind the booth.
Yeah.
we were in the studio most of the time. I was assisting my technical director. It used to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Now I go into the control room and say, "Is there anything I can do?" I'm here, but I wanted to emphasize the fact that we have a lot of content that you're talking about 50 plus club. I think as part of their ministry, they could go back and look at these seminars because they are members of these churches that have young people.
Yes.
And some of our churches might be hemorrhaging young people.
Oh yeah.
I think that's so important. I think it's a quiet crisis, if there is such a thing. It's not in front of your face all the time, but it's happening. It's happening. And the Seventh-day Adventist Church is not the only church that's experiencing that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give Patrick and Orion some kudos. Their commercials were really top notch. I really liked the way they came and had a different shirt for every commercial. How many shirts do you have?
Listen, let me just tell you, room 4 in the warehouse just has like all my T-shirts and all my shirts. And I've heard this from Mr. Martin.
Okay.
Mr. Martin, we wanted to give him a shirt because every time Youth Ministries does something, we do a T-shirt.
Right.
He's like, my wife told me, if you come in here with another T-shirt. So I got the same problem too. So everything stays here. But yeah, we wanted to because, I think it's time, for us to actually look at what's going on with young people. And we could listen to them and get something from what they are. What they're talking about. I mean, all that we put out there, pathfinders, adventurers, and we always say pathfinders first. We always say adventurers and our federations and all of that. There's got to be a newer way to do things now. I know when we came out here for camp meeting, the young people love camp meeting. Don't.
Yeah. Don't assume they don't. Yeah.
Once they gave the green light, the young people came out.
Right.
They're like, we don't care about COVID. We don't come out here. But we have to be able to give them what they want and what they need without moving the principal line. And it's still possible to do that. So there's got to be a new way to do Pathfinders. There's got to be a new way to do Adventurers, new way to do AY, even if we change the name of it and do something totally different. But yeah, we came out, we did our recordings. Just letting you know, we did our recordings. Shout out to the real boss, which is me, Patrick Grant.
We have somebody in our chat.
Oh, I see that.
He said, "Where is the tall, slender, good-looking member of the team?
He wrote
the
that.
one who looks like Who?
Idris Elba.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know who that is.
Yeah. I'm already
I
here.
know, right? We miss you, Tally.
Yeah, we do miss you,
We miss
Tally.
hearing
It's
your voice in
crazy.
the place.
And there's something that he wrote. I don't think it's in this one, but he was talking about Miguel. That's what I meant. I didn't want to put Miguel down as far as being live as a preacher. That's not what I was trying to say, bringing him here, because everyone fits for where they need. But he's powerful as a virtual person. Some of us can preach, but when we're in front of the virtually, we can't do it well. You know what I mean? He has somehow mastered
He's
being
a great
able.
storyteller. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what
definitely.
I picked up particularly from
Definitely.
Pastor
You know, he
Stephen.
puts me in the mindset of Pearson. The way his cadence and the way. So I go with Tally on this. I'm glad Tally is not here to fight with. But
We don't need no
true.
stuff today.
Yeah.
No drama.
Stay home, Tally. Stay home.
Oh, yeah, we gonna get. But yeah, also talking about the commercials. My daughter overheard all the wonderful things coming up at Camp Davis
Yes,
when she listened
I
to you
heard
guys.
too.
Like, wow, that's a lot of great stuff.
Go.
Yes.
Maybe I can. I'm sending 5 young people. Maybe I can.
Somebody said we need to have Camp Danny Davis for older people.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
We would be out here. Believe it.
What's happening?
All right, so guys, I know GP kind of tried to sneak in
I
there
jumped the
early.
gun. I jumped the gun.
But let's go ahead and talk about what happened
Yesterday.
yesterday. First
Man.
of all,
If you weren't here, you missed it.
It went down
just
like
think you missed
4 flat tires. It went down.
oh, it was amazing. Just a thought of like even telling my daughters, listen, we're going to camp meeting today. We are like camp meeting, like it's like it's a word we haven't heard in years. Like really, actually, and people are going to be there. Yeah, so it was a great feeling just driving to camp meeting. I think,
And it was a good crowd.
Yes,
it was a very
I met
good
a
crowd.
lady here. She said, and I hope I'm getting her name right. Her mother used to go to Pine Forge, named Ellison, and she said that she's now moved in with her in Ohio.
right.
And I was talking to her. She said, I needed to bring my mother back, just because this environment just
Yeah.
does something to people. Just being here, even if you're not here listening, which you should be,
Right.
just the fellowship that we have not been able to do in such a long time. People were just looking forward to that. So just to hear
Yes.
people say, I just want to be here.
Yeah.
You know?
This is a
Grounds.
beautiful campus.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I was
Yeah.
just going to say that.
Yeah.
I've heard people say when they come up here, they feel like they're like the closest thing to Eden.
Yeah, it's like holy ground.
Jesus.
You know,
Yeah.
I didn't 100% agree with that.
Yeah, man.
That's because you're used to.
Maybe
you
a
work
little.
here.
Oh, we work
But-
here.
But those who come up,
Yeah.
because it has the memories of the high times, like my church, because some of my members watch this. I kept trying to promote camp meeting. I'm all excited, like,
Do you know Gloria Davis? Anybody know Gloria Davis?
Of course.
Oh man, Gloria Davis. She's
Yes.
honestly and true. She looks like she's about 70 years old. She's 91,
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
and you know how our normal camp meeting is. You have your
have their
lawn chairs in the front.
Right,
and all
right.
that. And I met her, and she was like, "I'm gonna love this, except that I can't have my lawn chair in the front. Except, but I'm gonna be sitting there anyway." Forget tithe and all of that. I don't want to get into all of that. This is what they have bought into for years. This is something that they need. This is something that they want. And they're going to leave here with saying that I'm a part of this establishment. I'm a part of this this movement. And I think that's one of the reasons for camp meeting. We talked about it last week, but that's one of the reasons for camp meeting to have that belonging.
Yeah.
And this is what I think this is what they got.
This is 500 of the most beautiful acreage you would
Yeah.
ever see
Yes.
in the world.
Yes.
Now, I've talked to people who came from California to this camp meeting, you know, when we were in person, and they said that green is green over here.
Yeah.
They said
Yeah.
they have never seen such green, fresh green foliage, you know, and I will tell you, Pennsylvania is one of the most beautiful states, you know, in the United States. It's just a beautiful state. Come here. I mean, we're looking out. I wish we had a camera to show. It's just gorgeous out here.
It's beautiful. Can't really describe it.
No?
and you know something else I enjoyed? meeting so many of you
Exactly.
Yes.
who were here
In the
and
chat.
they came
Yeah.
to us
Yeah.
and to say, I love the broadcast. I
Yeah.
love seeing
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
I love your humor. It was so nice putting a face
Yes.
to those who, and I just want to say, we appreciate you.
Yes.
You could
It
be
was
watching
nice
something
meeting
else.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Somebody else probably better than us, but because you do, we appreciate
Yeah,
you.
this
We
is
do.
that's what keeps us going. You know, we see people in the chat, we see views, but actually, like you said, seeing faces of the people who are watching us makes us feel like we know who we're talking to now. You know, like you're no longer strangers. You're part of our Upset family, and it was great meeting you and some of you giving us topic suggestions. I got a few topic suggestions for us to cover, but that was an awesome.
What was
awesome.
one of the suggestions, like air conditioning in the pavilion? Or
People are suggesting fans in the chat right now.
We-
You heard that,
And
President
how
Palmer?
many of us took a shower yesterday just sitting in the chair? I mean, it's like, oh,
yeah,
dripping.
it
Well,
was really
I
hot.
want to give a little shout out to the Camp Pitch crew. And the
Yeah.
superintendent,
Pitch.
because
Yes.
The crew.
I'll tell you,
Good job.
until you come up here and work for camp meeting,
Wow.
you have no idea
My.
the
Yeah.
extent
Yeah.
of.
Well,
or
hold
can
on.
I get an
You-
amen
you-
over there?
listen.
Right?
You think we
Witnesses.
was going to let Justin get away with that? This is your first one, right?
Listen, I know that Camp Pitch is not what it used to be
But what? But what?
in the glory days of your youth, but that was then, and this is now. About approximately 15 pastors came last Sunday, Monday, to begin setting up the campgrounds for camp meetings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, the tornado Negro that passed through the pavilion from Pine Forest graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to fix that.
We cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome.
And here's the thing.
We
He's
had
not
to, you know, get the picnic tables down all around the grounds, all the trash bins, all the roping to keep the Negroes from parking just anywhere they want to. You know, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be here to make sure that people are parking in a safe manner so they can leave when it's convenient to them. It was beautiful to see all the plates from Maryland to Pennsylvania to New Jersey to Delaware to Virginia. It was just a pleasure to see all of you here and to serve all of the amazing constituents of the Allegheny East Conference. But
Man, you
it
look
was a
like-
wonderful time.
Look like he loved that job. He got it all down pat for him.
Are you the
Yes.
last one left to clean up distraction here?
Listen,
Yeah.
my duty is done, but I shall leave tomorrow.
I'm like, well,
Yes.
who's gonna clean up distraction?
Just
Is it
I
the
was-
upset podcast? We gotta
Oh, no.
When he said to pan it, I was like, don't pan. Camera people, don't pan it.
Don't look,
pan
don't
it.
look.
The water bottles are still here, but
There's still work to be done.
so for your first
Yes.
camp pitch experience, 1 to 10, how did it fare compared to what you thought it would be versus what it was?
11.
Oh, okay, so it was
It was a pleasant experience to wake up early, to work several hours a day with my colleagues, built relationships, got to know some of them better.
Yeah.
I've
That's
been
what
seeing
it's
some of
about.
these guys and females, it was all guys for this time, on Zoom for
Right.
meetings, but you don't really get to talk
Yeah.
and connect with them. So for us to hang out and go out to eat every night, administration took
was nice.
Hold on one
really
second.
good care
Hold
of
on,
us.
One second.
All right.
One second.
Yeah, go ahead, Pat. Cut me off.
Well, did
You went out to eat every night?
Every
Every
night.
where our offerings are
You're just
going.
finding that
So I
out?
want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to President Palmer,
Yeah.
Vice President Dr. Robinson, Lawrence Martin. You all took time to spend time with us and make sure that they were present, not just to make sure that we're getting the job done, but just to affirm us and make sure
Nice. They went out
that
to
we
eat
know
with
that
you
we're
guys?
appreciated. Yeah, they went out to eat with us as
Oh,
well.
that's
So we have servant leaders at Allegheny East in our administration. So
Amen.
if you get the time to send an email to the administration, please do so and thank them
Yes.
for their hard
Yes.
work and heart for this territory.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, I'm glad it was that.
Nice.
It was a wonderful experience. I
Yeah.
would do it again for free.
Okay.
Maybe you will. next
It's like
year.
Maybe
right.
I shall. And we're going to talk about that, whether camp meeting is going to be different or whether it's
Yeah.
going to be
Going
one day again.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to make our predictions.
Yes, we are.
Do
I
we
predict
foresee
more.
a
I
10-day?
predict
Do we
more.
foresee
I don't
a
know if it'll be 10. I don't know. I'd like it. I love camp meetings, but definitely more than one day.
I think we should go for a 2-weekend situation where we
Yes.
have
Just 2
Friday,
weekends?
Saturday,
Right.
come back again next Friday,
Charles like,
Saturday.
yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But that's
So
just
we-
me. That's just
That's
me
just
talking.
you. I
Right.
like
Yeah.
more than 2 days a week.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. You know, we heard from people when we surveyed, just the weekends, and like, no, we want to come down because we have some diehard cabin dwellers.
Yeah.
They want to go back into their cabins. They've missed their cabins. I talked to someone who said they wanted to go visit their cabin. They couldn't get to it, but they wanted to go just for the memories. Just go back and just remember everything that they're
because the experience during the week. I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's so peaceful, and the word. It's almost like the annual time of going to the Day of Atonement. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's like that's how I feel. I mean, you're a worker. You can't see that. But when you can sit and hear the word of God every day, and it's so powerful and it's peaceful and everybody is happy. I mean, we don't get to see the rowdy crowds and the nastiness sometimes, and it just makes you just enjoy. I remember my church's praise team, we were asked to provide the music down at the senior youth tent. We did it for 4 years.
You guys did that, yeah.
And we had to practice so much. You sing and sing. And we was like, camp meeting, yeah. It's nice. Real nice. We were tired. And people would come and say, oh, I just enjoyed it so much, And you realize that you make the sacrifice for other people to be blessed. That's why when he says that, he's working hard. But when you don't have to do that work and you just, reap the benefit, it's a different feeling.
Let me tell you, there were pastors who were specially assigned to literally clean the bathroom all day.
I give it up to.
There were pastors Saturday night when everyone was gone, picking up trash juice and trash, because those trash bags get heavy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so someone else had to sacrifice so that someone else could be blessed.
That's right.
That's right.
And so you all who have been blessed, I pray that you were grateful for that experience. And next time you come back to campgrounds, be mindful of using the trash cans. Be mindful of not leaving a mess, because it all makes a difference.
Yeah, somebody else is
all
going
makes a
to
difference.
have to.
Someone has to clean it up.
Yeah. All right, so we're still on this Sabbath day. Just yesterday. Seems like
Just
yesterday.
Yep.
I know. So how about that investiture, guys?
That was wonderful.
I was so happy to see members of the Upset podcast being invested as master guides.
Yeah, it was
because we love our young people.
Yeah, it was special because I don't see a group of pastors becoming master guides. It's not a thing you see all the time, So I think it was a special occasion, and yes, it just shows our dedication to further connect with the young people and to just be a boss. Call me Master Pat. Call me Master.
Master.
Once a
And
master
what I like about it is that I think it's a time that activated those who are watching it that used to be master guides, and for them to say, hey, there's something for us to do even afterwards. But it went well. Pastors were sharp.
Yeah.
How many of us pastors were there?
I think it was 13.
13 of us marched. Okay.
And there was a few that did that we're going to do it in their local churches because they had some things that were going on. But I thought it was great. And let's not forget those who've been working through the pandemic. Others that were there. The name of the church, Salem brought the rest on, and I thought it was great that they came along and did theirs at the same time. So it was good.
That's good.
I hope the mic's not picking up my stomach. Sorry about that, guys. The vegetarian food from camp.
Mercy.
No, y'all told me y'all had real meatballs in my spaghetti.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on.
I was about to eat that meatball right there.
Stuck on. Well, I forgot about Sabbath School. I went straight to the vestibule, but Sabbath School, Dr. McClary.
Yeah, Dr. Mark McCleary did his thing. There were people who, of course, wanted to give their input and, comments. I think he did a good job of finding the balance between, still fostering engagement, but still keeping the ship tight and right to stay on schedule so that the other events could flow. And you just have to have the right person doing that because, before you know it, it'll be 12:30 and Saints still got questions and comments. And so he did a wonderful job. Shout out to Dr. Mark McCleary, one of our newest retirees in the Allegheny East Conference. Right. So we appreciate you for all your years of service, and we already miss you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love the fact that his official retirement date was July 1st.
Yeah.
And he was here July 2nd, still giving back.
Did he also disappear in the crowd? I didn't see him anymore.
Afterwards, right? He retired.
Is that a trend? When you're retired and you show up, you don't stick around.
You see Tally
Some
anywhere?
type of translation that
He's not even here today.
Because you don't gotta be.
And I think his pay rate changed.
Of course, just send the invoice. That's what happens.
Well, for the podcast, he gets paid a lot of money.
Man. Listen, I got Tally. Tally was like, where do I call? I just sent him my number just now. Like, Tally, come on and call in.
So yesterday, of course, after service, something that we generally don't do, but we did this year, was to offer the free box lunch.
Oh,
Yes.
Those were a big hit. I was going around kind of talking to different groups of people, and one of the questions I kept getting is this going to be something that they could continue to do? This is so nice. We love these boxes.
Yeah, if
Real
it's
talk, though,
if it's a
I was
one-day
like,
camp
listen,
meeting.
having the logo on the box was a wonderful touch.
Yeah.
Wonderful
It's like a
touch.
gift.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just
Now
the
that
box.
you said it,
But
they're
it
gonna
was
go in the
an
garbage now and be like,
Allegheny East box.
was it really?
The
Yes.
square box. the
Yeah.
white- Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See.
So it was customized. It wasn't just any little box.
Right.
So we
You
put
knew
some
where it
thought
came
in.
from.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We
so
value our constituents.
I did let
Absolutely.
Mr. Martin know that was a question. I won't tell you what he said. No.
If we could rewind a little bit, the Divine Hour service was excellent.
Oh,
Yes.
that music,
Yes, the
Yes.
music,
the word.
the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
President
I told-
Palmer sweated out his
Yeah.
shirt too.
Yeah, he sweated it
Yeah.
out.
And
Yeah.
I had to send him a little note because I said, sir, I've heard you preach exceptionally well
Well,
many times, but yesterday the Holy Ghost
Yes.
man was so high in this place.
Listen, it's so virtual. When he came down to the end, he was like in his altar call. Look how things have changed. In his altar call, it was if you want to get close to God, call in.
yeah.
It was like,
Right.
wait a minute, altar
Or
call,
put it in.
call in.
Yeah. And he said several times to put things in the text.
Put it,
you know,
yeah,
those
text
that
it
are
in
on.
there.
And you know, that does not need to change.
That's right.
Going
Absolutely.
forward, all of our
right.
churches that have online ministries
That's right.
You have to validate.
need to keep that up and in fact accelerate it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you'll find more people who either for geographical reasons or maybe they're just personal preference won't walk into your church,
Yeah.
but they love the content and they love the message. So as a media guy, I'm just saying to all our churches, you need to accelerate your online presence.
Yeah.
So what happened to the tape ministries?
Oh my goodness.
After every sermon.
Yeah.
It's called YouTube.
I knew it was see.
Did we have the tape ministry in 2019? We didn't have
No.
We
I
were
didn't
selling
realize it's no
some
longer
CDs.
there,
but-
I think we were
Oh, I didn't
taking
know that.
CDs by order.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
But I
okay,
am,
okay.
I'll tell you, being here so many years, I am so glad we don't have the tape trailer
Yeah.
and the CD trailer. I mean, because people were even coming right to the media center and about to tear the door off.
Right. Right.
Are they ready?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So now, if you get, I'm not, trying to push YouTube so much.
Subscribe.
Do it.
Yeah,
But-
subscribe.
If you get like YouTube Premium, I mean, it is a subscription. You can download
Yep.
to your device. You can download the sermons.
And
you
send
know.
it to people. Because that's
Exactly. That in itself is a ministry. If you have friends or community, individuals in your community, and you just send them the link,
Yeah.
and they can click on
Of
it.
messages, Stephen Wood commented on President Palmer's sermon and the many hashtag moments that he had.
Yeah.
And so it was a way for people who weren't there physically to still engage during the message. And he referred like hashtag this, hashtag that. And so I think he was intentional
Yeah.
about that
Thanks,
hybrid
Steve.
experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So shout out to President
He's
Palmer
big
for a
on
job
that.
well done.
Yeah,
Yep.
because we had a lot of people watching and a lot of people here. So there are two. That's one of the hard parts I've heard about ministry is engaging both crowds, the
Yeah.
online viewers and the in-person viewers. And he did that.
I even encourage our technical staff to look at the comments because they all know that this is a ministry. And I say to them, I said, your work
Absolutely.
is blessing people.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Don't think you're just a tech.
That's right.
You're actually a media minister.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so your work is impactful. You can impact. You may see them, meet them, know their names, but as a result of their work, they're able to receive a message.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to forget our chat. I see some people saying different things about the various things we've talked about. Tally is a mess. Just
having a great time.
But
Yeah.
and we're talking
You
about
should be
Elder
here.
Pete Palmer, our president, Pete Palmer. But Ms. Daphne was saying that she wishes that we could do those box lunches all the time because those wraps were delicious.
Wraps were on point.
Yeah, they were. It was a lot of
Yeah.
great stuff in them. So yeah, great service. As we've been saying with everything else, if you didn't get a chance to catch the message yesterday, you can go back today and
there.
watch it over
On demand.
and over
On demand.
again. But we know that the day wasn't over after the wonderful service.
Nope.
And
Oh,
the
yeah.
great box lunches.
Yep.
But seeing the people spread out all
Oh,
over, I was
man.
really impressed. I'm
Yeah.
always impressed with
Yeah.
the table setups. I mean, people had like that whole buffet line.
Pause 1 second.
Yeah.
There are some people who brought some food.
Yes,
Food.
yes.
Like
They
I
were
saw
not
some
playing
beef.
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna talk about the pork I saw.
Well, the
Listen, y'all saints ain't playing.
Yo,
Yes.
you should have gone by the Haitian joint
Listen,
back here.
I didn't get to go to all the booths. But
My
listen,
peeps, my peeps had real fish, like the head of the fish. I'm like,
my Olivet, it was back there.
Yeah.
Oh
They came
man.
call it out,
Prepared.
everybody.
So-
We had some undercover food police.
Yeah.
What you got in that pan?
Right.
But no, it was really nice. I was just so impressed, and people were even early,
Yeah.
scoping out their spots.
Absolutely.
This is where we're gonna set up.
Claiming it.
that spot early.
And it was just beautiful seeing not littered, but like spread throughout the campus,
Yeah.
various groups of people.
hold up. After they enjoyed their meal, there was a lot of litter all around the grounds.
Who's gonna clean this up?
But the
Campage
fellowship
crew.
was so nice.
Campage crew.
Yeah, people were just laughing, and you could see people reconnecting.
It was-
it was a beautiful sight to see.
It was.
Like, wonderful. It was like, for me, even that was just worth it. Like,
Yeah.
It was. It's
seeing-
like,
seeing
is
that
that a
interaction.
person?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my goodness, there's people here.
Yeah.
So
And-
beautiful.
I think sometimes we take for granted that this whole campus is literally black owned. Like I processed it yesterday. I was looking at the sea of multitudes that are around. I'm just like, we own this space.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
ours.
Yeah.
Right.
This is our own safe haven.
Yep.
And it was pretty inspiring, and it was just a sight to
it
see.
is.
Yeah, beautiful.
We
And
need
without
to-
incidents too, right? Like nothing happened that I
Not that
knew
we know
of.
of.
No,
Not that we
no,
know
no.
of.
And
We'll
I have
hear
to
later.
admit, I mean, our local police department
Yep.
have been
Oh
on
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
They
You
were
know,
doing their thing.
Douglasville Township Police. Okay.
Listen,
so
it was in the
if
chat.
you wanted to
See if
know
you
who
could find
they
it.
were.
See if you could find it in the chat, because he came up around 11 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And someone was in the chat. No, someone texted me and was like, "Who's that handsome guy
Oh gosh.
up there? The police? Is he Adventist?"
Wow. Really?
I was like, "That's the chief.
The
We
chief
love
of
his
police.
tattoos." So I was like,
Someone wanted to hook up. We'll try to track down the officer and just send an email to upset
I know, right? We're going to become a virtual matchmaking podcast.
and just submit your $1,000 finder's fee.
I'll subscribe. You get that man from me. I'll subscribe.
You know what's great though? You talking about a blessed campus. This is an open campus.
Yeah.
That's right.
We literally have a county road that passes through it. And sometimes some of the things we talked about in our past episodes of what's going on with mass shootings and all those things that's going on, sometimes I wish it was a little bit tighter as far as it's concerned here, graduations, all of that.
Right.
But the police department, they were active here.
Absolutely.
You know how they park the vehicles and
right.
put out
And
the
they were very
pylons.
present.
And, oh yeah.
During
Yeah.
Pine Forge
Very
Academy's
good.
graduation,
Very good.
I don't ever remember coming to a graduation and seeing 4 police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
On
they
the
were
ground,
very
right.
visible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And people do acknowledge the pastors who are wearing their little black shirts and gloves, but nobody respects us. But when you see those popo lights,
Because they wear a gun.
you will slow down and you will park where we tell you to park. So thank God for them blue popo lights.
So y'all get some water guns that look real. Wear them around. Maybe get a little bit more respect.
No,
I felt safe, and they stayed all the way
Yes.
Till the end.
until the end, and kind of mingled even afterwards.
Yeah.
And I thought it
Yeah,
was good.
I think we need to, you know, the police departments have been getting a really bad rap because of the things
Yeah,
that some of
sure.
their, not so professional police officers have done, but many of them are upstanding, caring people. In fact, one time I was coming to work and I saw one of the cruisers right near the old conference office, and he was just sitting there. And I drove up and rolled my window down, and I said, "Good morning, how you doing?" He said, "I'm doing good." I said, "I really appreciate the service that you're providing us." And you could tell the look on his face was like, wow, did
So
I win a prize or what happened?
Maybe it's because I followed you and was bringing him something to drink.
Oh,
and he
okay.
was like, you're like the how many person have come and asked me that, but we do need to do that.
Yeah,
we need
absolutely.
to thank them for what they've done. And I like that a lot of people. I mean, he was telling me that I was like the 10th person that came in. We'd like something to drink. We'd like something.
Yeah.
But they're protecting
So
us.
it's relationship.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
There we
the
go.
one thing I like about
There we go.
the township here. There's relationship, and that's important. That's
And it
important
was
for
so
us.
nice to see the kindness of the people because there was a lady walking in front. I'm sorry, Patrick's stomach is
stomach's
making
making all I'm sorry. It's the raps. It's the raps.
They're only good on
the
Sabbath.
good fiber control.
After Saturday, the raps go bad.
Manna is done.
Wait a minute, you can't refrigerate them for 24
It's the
hours.
daily rap. The daily rap. Only on Saturday.
He ate the manna from yesterday.
New Jersey,
Just,
Maryland, Virginia. Just throw it away. Throw it away.
What is it that God sent? What is it?
Manna.
The manna.
He's sick from yesterday's
Yeah,
manna.
yeah.
But to see the kindness of the people, asking the officers, would you like something to eat? I just said, oh, that's wonderful. And it says, oh, I have something already. So, I mean, it shows the love, that we didn't just pass by them and greet and hungry ourselves and not caring about someone else. So I just thought that was wonderful.
Yeah. And so, of course, after everyone had a little something to eat,
Snack.
it was time for the big ordination service.
Yeah.
And I loved it on Sabbath day.
Mhm. Someone else was saying they
Yes,
liked that
I mean,
touch
it was
of
like
it.
it was so special. Having it on, I mean, we might need to consider
Keeping
putting
it
that,
that way.
yes. I mean, it was so high, more people are here.
Yeah.
You know,
it,
it's-
wa- yeah. It was.
There were a lot of people watching online
Yeah.
for that ordination.
Yeah. That's the great
We
thing about
had,
it.
of course, 5 phenomenal young pastors who were getting
Phenomenal,
ordained.
yes.
Right.
And I'm sure they all came to support them virtually. But,
Right.
we still had a major
Nice crowd.
turnout for that occasion.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
and
really nice.
we had a ram.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Talk
that
about
ram.
that ram.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the ram's not here.
Oh,
The ram is in the chat.
So tell me how
He's
that
out of the
happened because I
bush.
missed it. I was expecting.
I was
I
totally.
think we were all still.
I missed that.
Until,
Yeah.
How come they
we were
didn't
all
ask?
looking for
How come
this-
they didn't ask me? Or
I don't know why they didn't ask me.
Yeah. Crickets, right? Nobody wants to tackle that.
oh my goodness,
But
we just had so many people, and now as soon as I said that, it just YouTube just said, "Oh, forget this."
Tally said he's still in the thicket. So, when I saw him, I was over there on the side and I saw him.
Yeah.
In a
Come
row,
with the robe.
What Tally went in a
I was
robe?
like, Are you the ram? Are you the ram? He was like,
What did he say? I was dying to
he's
know what he said.
like, Tally's humble self. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to say though. I'm like, yeah, right.
Sure.
The words.
If anybody,
Yes.
can get something out without knowing what to say, it's Tally.
But
And
didn't he speak
Yes,
yesterday?
he went up
Spoke
there.
to our
That
hearts.
boy preached. Oh
Yes,
my
he did.
goodness.
Yeah. He
It was at first it was just downright scary. I was like, while we here,
Yeah.
I said, you gotta give these people
brought it
hope.
up.
Give us
Yeah.
some hope there. But it was
it was so
excellent.
authentic and
Yeah.
transparent.
Yeah, and
Tally
real,
appreciated
true.
that.
And he also provided a personal touch
Right.
for all of
Yeah.
our ordinands. And he's still
Yeah.
connected with everybody in the pavilion
Yeah.
and everybody online. So shout out to Pastor Reverend
2 thumbs
Nick
up.
Taliaferro.
Yes.
I think he's going to become a big time evangelistic
so too.
speaker.
Okay.
He thought he was
I
about
do.
to slow down. Things are
I do.
picking up.
I think. I mean, he was just at which conference doing camp meetings?
South
South
Central.
Central.
Yes, he was just there. Now he's here.
I think he has an agent now.
He's an
I
agent,
believe it.
probably.
so.
So
Because,
I think he just tries to
If
get
he-
his
if he
rest on
doesn't,
Sundays
he
at
needs
6
to.
p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody asked though. Do you see somebody asked in the chat? Was like, when is he coming back? I want Tally to answer when he's coming back.
Tally, people want to know when you are coming back
Or did your agent tell you?
with us.
Did your agent
And
tell
if
you
you
not
don't,
to come back
then we will take the crew
to your house?
There you go.
because
Now,
we
with his comb.
No.
He's been very busy.
Yeah. No,
Very
we
busy.
understand Tally, and we
Listen, I
miss
wasn't
you
there.
though.
Give me some real quick points from out of that sermon.
He talked about the pain of the ministry and how it comes from your friends.
Wow.
And that God allows it.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's- yeah.
But at
powerful.
the end of the day, no matter what you go through, God never forgets you. God
That's right.
remembers you.
right,
Right.
he remembers.
And the line that stuck with me was about when the vision fails.
Yeah.
He kind of
Yes,
did a little
yes, yes.
sequence, but
Yeah.
because there's so many times we have this idea of how things are going to go.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't happen that way,
Right.
can we, get back on track? Can we still see God's hand in what has happened to us? And it's like, man, because all of us can relate
Yeah.
to a vision
Yeah.
not working out. How we-
Right.
He said, you don't got to be in ordination for that.
exactly. So he was addressing the ordinance, but I felt that one
was
for
real.
myself.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think
Like,
it was something we could all
Welcome to the fellowship of suffering.
Yes,
right,
he
right,
said
right.
that. Yeah.
And gave the scripture, how we participate in
That's why he said it was like that first. Said the first 10 minutes, maybe I don't want to do this thing.
Well, I appreciate he didn't want to sugarcoat, because sometimes we do sugarcoat. Like,
Right,
this is
right.
great, the best thing in the world. The Lord is no, it's going to be hard. I mean, and I think if you deal with that up front, you're a little bit more poised when you're hit.
Prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
when it
these things
comes.
hit you left and right.
Even
But-
though you will cry, you will. I mean, you
Yeah.
will cry. It will hurt, but it's nice to hear up front so that what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Delphine Charles said Pastor Talaferro did an awesome sermon for the ordination.
Yep.
Yes, we definitely agree. Now, I did see a question earlier. It kind of came in the chat before we were talking about ordination, and it's an interesting one. We're a podcast, so we don't mind questions like this. But someone asked, if you recall, when all the pastors came up for the ordination prayer, I believe, and Pastor Reverend Dr. Waller was invited up as well. Someone asked.
They're laughing about my stomach.
It's okay. We're going to get you some snacks.
You need some water.
Yeah, let me just-
Someone asked, why was he invited up if he was not an Adventist pastor?
Because he's a Christian.
Yeah. Believes in Jesus.
He's a Christian.
A preacher of the
pastor.
gospel.
He's ordained minister, just
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
others. Okay,
Yeah.
I just to be able to, address that, because that's a question that someone has, but why not?
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I've been to First Day churches, the respect level
Yes.
that they give me
Yes.
or give us when we walk in there.
I'm not
They
a
don't.
preacher, and I've
I say that
experienced
again.
that. I'm not a preacher, and I've experienced
Oh
that.
yeah. The revere that they do. We water down us, and there are many people. Many of those clergy on the outside look at us as still as people of the books, and we ought to be able to return that. Just
Yeah.
because they're people, just
Right.
because they don't put the dividing line there because of denominations.
Right.
Because God's not calling us by denominations, though we believe we're part of the remnant. God's not calling us by that. So I think it's great. I think it makes it authentic
Yeah. Yeah.
when we have someone from a different faith. And when I say faith, I'm messing up there too, because
Yeah,
we have the
he's
same faith, different denominations. So I think it adds, if anything, more than distract.
Absolutely.
And could you imagine what it would have looked like? Because the president invited all of the ordained clergy
Yeah.
from any church up.
Right.
And can you imagine he's in the audience, his daughter's husband
Yeah.
is being ordained, and you not acknowledge him, and
Right.
he's an ordained minister?
Right.
What
Yeah.
that would have looked like from the Advent. It's like what people still talk about with Kirk Franklin
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Oakwood. You know what I'm saying? I was
Don't
like,
forget that story,
I
right?
know, and people still mention it every time I hear. I'm like,
Yeah.
we still
It was
talking about it.
embarrassing. I mean, I think
Yes.
it's one of
We
those
need to do
embarrassing-
better with community.
Right. It's okay.
We need to do
Because we're
better.
not elitists. We're not
Yeah.
Christian elitists.
Right.
Right.
We're saved by God's grace, and so are so
Right.
many other people. And God is going to call all His people together, because
Right.
there's going to be many Seventh-day Adventists who will not be saved.
Mercy.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Mercy.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Mercy.
Upset.
Mercy.
You know,
now we're in the upset.
The Venice
podcast.
card won't get us
Listen,
in.
I had it still sticks with me. This conversation was almost 20 years ago. In our community, there was a pastor. I believe he was a Baptist or Episcopal church. He came to our service. It was a special day. You know how we have community service, and he came today. And I knew him, personally, and he, after the service, we were out in the parking lot, and he's saying, Chuck, I just want to ask you a question. I said, what's that? He says, when you guys, Seventh-day Adventists, have Community Guest Day, Choir Day, Women's Day, we're there. But when we have Choir Day, Women's Day, Deacon Day, you guys don't show up. What's up with that?
Yeah.
And it stung.
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you're good for those days. But
Yeah. It's like he was just saying, we come to your events, but you won't come to ours.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a message we need to change. And I know that a lot of our churches are involved in the community.
Right.
You need to know who your neighbors are.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's important. We need to do better with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I hope that answers that
I'm
question.
glad you asked that though. Because
Yeah,
we're still
someone
the
asked
Upset
that.
podcast.
Yeah.
You know, there's things that we really need to discuss when it comes to our doctrines and how much we tie it to salvation. We need to be able to let's go back to last week. Remember, camp meeting is evangelism.
That's right.
That's
It
right.
was always meant to be evangelism. You said community. We have not even dived into what's going on in Pottstown, what's going on in Douglasville, in Boyertown. We still got a lot of work to do.
We do.
Yeah.
And by
work too.
you bringing that up, again, brings us full circle to our ability or inability to share community.
Yep.
I remember, I don't remember, it was what, maybe 6 years ago when you did a AEC Today for camp meeting and you guys went down. We filmed in Pottstown and we were just asking people, do you know anything about this camp meeting going? Some people would say, I have no idea. Right. Another person would say, yeah, I see a lot of campers going up the road. And I think we may have come across one person that said, yeah, that's that church group. They have camping no one could say, oh, that was a Seventh-day Adventist, and they come in there. When they come, they are all in our neighborhood.
We put thousands of dollars into Walmart.
Walmart knows we're here.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
It's a secret.
Here's the big one
Yeah,
though.
closed.
You bring lots of black people into Pottstown.
Yeah, but I think
We need to change that.
these neighbor, even as far out as Reading,
Yep.
I think we need to make a concerted effort to let people know we're here. We're inviting them here.
Probably need to put it on one of those big billboards.
Yeah.
Oh, we can afford it.
Yeah. You know what
Money
we
is
did?
not a problem. Money
You know
is
what we
not a
did
problem.
many years
Advertisement.
ago, and I think this was right around the time we started AEC Today for camp meeting. You remember we went down to the local cable station, Tosh? You remember?
I do. I remember
And
that.
prior to that, we actually had a contract on Pottstown TV,
Nice.
and we were rerunning the services. We'd have a live service, and then we take the tape down to them, and they would play it. I know that's effective. We know we need to get back to that because I found out from the director of Pottstown TV that their local cable channel goes into all the hotels.
Wow.
So there are people who are traveling, they're channel surfing and easily come across one of our services. I just think we need to be intentional about that. If the opportunity is there, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
way to outreach.
Invest. Yeah, we can't always assume that those who are here, someone could have invited them, they could have heard about it and stepped
Right.
in here. Do we even address our guests?
That's
We
right.
almost sometimes think, oh, it's home, this is our family,
Yeah.
but there could be someone saying, what is this again?
Yeah,
Like,
notice
why
we
am
don't
I-
say,
Yeah.
are any visitors?
You're right, we don't do
don't.
that.
That's
You
right, we
know?
don't. Are any
We
visitors?
just
We
assume
just
that
welcome-
everybody's family.
Except for the great police officer that's standing in the front that this person wants to date.
Yeah, and someone mentioned that Marlena's prayer was also very powerful. That ordination prayer was. It was very, very powerful.
Beautiful ordination service.
It was outstanding.
Yeah. Pastor Dyson gave a suggestion about that. He said,
Yeah.
send out an area mailing invite and explanation to our neighbors.
Very good.
Even provide a free gift. I know sometimes we would try to use the concerts, like from someone, because people say, why are you having these concerts? Sometimes we would try to use the big names that we thought would be recognizable to people to bring them here. But I still don't think we, utilized it to the best because the concert was over and they left. No one ever said, come back early tomorrow morning
No
for
altar
service.
calls after
Right,
the
right.
concert.
And I'm going to say something that may be upsetting to some people, but I'm just telling you the truth. Some of our folk don't want anybody else up here.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
I've actually heard Seventh-day Adventist members say, we don't know. This is our this is our thing.
It's our club.
We don't want people from them, those people,
yeah.
to come up here and mess up our. We have got to get out of that.
Yeah.
Chuck,
Yeah.
this lady told me Sabbath.
Speaking your mic.
This lady told me on Sabbath. Guy, told me on Sabbath.
Can we go to a commercial?
She wants to be buried. She wants to be buried on the land because Jesus, when he comes, it's gonna be in this area first.
Wow.
Amazing.
I'll tell you her name later.
Wow.
No, but that's this is Mecca for Adventism. A lot of people that even follow us are even from different places that grew up in this area. But you're right. This should be the number one place for us to be able to say, not even to make them like us, but to make Jesus come alive.
Right.
That's the piece that we need to get.
Can we, before you pivot, think about this acreage, the historical landmarks that are on this campus.
Oh man, here we go.
Let's say if this campus were opened to our country as a retreat center for people to come and enjoy,
Absolutely.
and eventually we could build relationships with them. Like, what kind of
Absolutely.
impact could we make
Yes.
by
Huge.
investing on these
Yeah.
grounds to
Huge.
make it a destination place for young people, for families,
Right.
for corporate people who
Absolutely.
want to get away from
So
the
much
city?
potential, yeah.
So much potential with
right.
these grounds.
Send those
That's right.
letters and emails.
That's right.
We just have to learn to share.
Share.
It's okay to share. It's still,
Yeah.
We can keep it holy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're sharing.
Well, keep it holy. Okay, yeah. Keep it holy.
Oh, I didn't realize an hour had passed, guys.
No, you're right. We don't.
Sorry.
We don't.
But I wanted to say something that someone pulled me aside yesterday at camp meeting. And he said to me, we had a great service. This was right after we had a great service, great message from the president. He said, but what are we going to do once we leave here? He said, I feel like we come here, we have such a great time, but are we really going to take back what
Now,
we
there's the
heard and learned here? All right, that same fire that we felt as we sat in the audience and heard this message, are we going to take that back to our churches? Or was it just here on the grounds, and when we drive off, it kind of dissipates as we go down the road? And I was like, how do you respond to
That's
that? You're
always
like,
been a
yeah,
question.
Is it about coming here and
Yeah.
getting that high
yeah,
and getting your fix and
yeah,
going home?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
for
good
many
question.
people
He
it
said he
is.
feels like we should challenge our membership more to almost let camp meeting be a catalyst for what we're going to do when we go back to our churches. And I was like, yeah,
What it
that's a
should
good
be
idea.
is a build up to come
right,
here.
right.
All right, start early, and here's the build up, and then we got it, and then now let's.
So a pep rally to go out and
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So, like for
Implement.
example, when some people when they go to their churches now, you say, okay, we have camp meeting coming up, and it's like, oh, camp meeting. Some people do that, camp meeting. They close down our church during that time. The reason why they close down our church is because really 40,000 people should be able to fit here.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, if you're building this thing that comes to where we are now, and there's a thematic structure that says when we leave here, we expect this to happen from June till December or till we meet back again. That puts all of us on one
Exactly.
on one theme all the
Yeah.
way through. So I agree with that it should be something that's work as soon as we today. Now that it's over, we should be working on what's going to be going on in the
Exactly.
next
I was
one
gonna say
coming.
the same
Yeah.
thing. We should be
Yeah.
working on the PR
Yeah.
for
Right.
next year.
Yeah.
So talk to the communication person. I think the communication person of this conference need to understand.
Yep.
But
Don't
but
get me
in all seriousness, with all of us pastors who are around, because sharing the gospel is individually and corporate.
That's right.
So when anyone is asking, what do we do? You go and tell somebody, even if it's just an invitation. Hey, come to my church. And so we all have to love the gospel of Christ so much that you can't help but invite somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking, when the Bible says how we profane the name of God, we just bring it down to a common level. And oftentimes we do camp meeting like that. It's how you see it, Like for me, camp meeting is a wonderful time. I feel the Spirit of God, and I feel like it's equivalent to the Day of Atonement, right? Because it's once a year we all come together and we celebrate Christ. But to some people, all those bugs out there, it's hot. I ain't going out there. I can stay home. I can listen to it myself. I ain't got to go out there hiding. You know, that's all they see.
That's all they see.
And you miss the beauty because that heat is sermonic. You don't live right. There's a place that's hotter than that. So when you're out here and you feel the heat, you say, I'm so grateful. There's a God somewhere, right?
You know something? I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been President Cheatham that said this. When you pass by and you go up Old Douglas Road and you see our sign, so, you know, there's a lot of industries around here, and it should somehow say people. You know what I mean? Because when you see it, you say, what is Allegheny East Conference Corporation? Corporation? What is that? And of course, we know that why it's named that, but people should be able to pass by it and say, okay, I understand exactly what it means. It means community. It means people. You know, so when you see Goodwill, place I shop at, you should already know immediately what's there, what it's for. Salvation Army is a church type thing, right? If people see Salvation Army, we see for different things. I want Allegheny East Conference to be synonymous with community, with people, and the why. And my stomach growling again.
Yeah. Well, no, Monte Cristo Duke says the same thing. Pat, camp meeting is about. I think that's an alarm.
You have a beeper? You have an alarm on your
It's louder than my stomach.
He said, camp meeting is about bringing people to God, whether you're Adventist or not.
Yes.
Evangelizing to everyone, because Jesus will hold you responsible for not spreading his word. Right. So we all have an individual responsibility. Right. All right. Anything else? I know we covered up concert. Yes, I can't forget the concert. We ended with a grand finale. They were very talented. Yeah. I mean, some of those. I just don't understand how people can hold notes
in the heat.
For as long.
And hungry.
Is it done? What is? Tell us, GP.
And
what's
the bugs.
GP knows.
You either listen. You either got it or you don't.
It boils down to that.
Leave it to the pros.
Right.
But yeah, it was phenomenal.
Just on the musicians, man.
And Sister Monique's daughter.
Yeah,
Yes,
I did. I was like, oh, she has promise. Remind me of Kiera.
Shepherd.
Yeah. I was like, oh,
Her
she's the
mom,
next one. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. So that was great. It was a great concert.
And listen, we were supposed to have 50% rain.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Talk about
Listen, yes.
I was
See?
watching the weather radar.
Somebody said out there in the grass, they said, whoever prayed for the rain to hold up, I need to talk to them.
Right.
'Cause there's some things I need.
Yeah, I met her. No, honestly, I was walking and I met a lady. I don't know if you're watching. And she told me that she was trying to convince her friend to come to the game. And she says, no, I'm not going because it's going to rain.
Yes.
And she says, no, it's not going to rain. I'm going to pray that it will not rain. So please come with me. And she came and she said, do you see this? No rain whatsoever.
rain.
And she said, I told her it wasn't that kind of rain. God wanted to rain down the Holy Spirit.
Oh,
That's the forecast that we got it. I was like, okay.
But Sister Taj, some of us prayed that it would not rain until after the last
And
service.
that's what happened.
Yes.
Hold on. After the ordination service. So I'm wearing my suit and shirt and tie, and I change out of it like Superman and put on my Allegheny East security shirt.
Go ahead.
And I went to the hotel, changed, came back. It's 7:35. It starts sprinkling as cars are leaving. And I was like, look at God.
That's
right.
Like, come on
Well, you
now.
know,
The
in
whole day.
In the
Yes.
media center in my office, I knew about the prediction. So, I have a big screen in my office, and I put up the weather radar, and I was monitoring the weather radar the whole time on Sabbath. It was like up on my screen. And I noticed the fronts coming through, right? There was a front to the north of us and a front to the south of us. And it's like the storms were parted
Right.
Turned.
and went around
Rounded.
us.
Right.
It was amazing
Yeah.
to see that on the radar.
That's
So
not going
the
to-
first half of the day was actually cloudy.
Yes.
And so a lot of us were
Always coming.
concerned.
Yeah.
We're like, Jesus.
But there was
Hold
God
it.
keeping us cool, keeping
Oh, it
the
was nice and
sun.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice
It
and
was
cool.
much cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Look at God. I mean, if you don't believe that this was a God ordained
Yeah.
Sabbath that we had here, I don't know what else to tell you because
And believe that lives were changed.
Yes.
You may never know the
Yes.
details, but lives were changed. I've
Absolutely.
experienced that
Yeah.
every camp meeting.
And I just want to say, the Holy Spirit is powerful, and He will go everywhere. And I know He was on the screen, but the presence in this place,
yeah.
it nothing that compares
No.
to it.
Yeah.
See, like all of our camera
Yeah.
expertise people right there, they're busy working.
Right.
You guys can't get into it like the rest of us, but when that's just your focus, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are sacrificing so that we can enjoy
Yes,
a
we
good
appreciate
service. But when you're able to just be in tune and be connected and to
Right.
hear the word, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that you mentioned the technical crew. I'm gonna take the next 15 minutes
Yeah.
and talk about our fabulous high-tech crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
The media
I'm
team.
all out.
Yes, I'm going to put their names out there. I know they're going to be.
some
I know they're going to be.
smiles out
Yeah, we
Oh,
can't
this
turn the
is a
cameras
good
right.
Yeah, we have
Nah, then they'll see the mess.
Yeah. our
Trash it and then clean up, yeah.
but we have Bryce, who is our technical director.
Yeah, Bryce.
A lot of what you saw on the screens with the animation and stitching all of the, doing all the editing. Evan also. Crazy editing. I mean, these
ovation.
guys were up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
pulling things together.
Yeah.
Julian
Tribute.
and Angie are just amazing. They're just amazing. They're a married couple. Next time you come up here, if you see Julian and Angie together, you need to thank them
Yeah.
because they are hard workers.
Thank you guys.
Um,
That's right. Do
And
it
they run
together.
camera, they run audio. They're just amazing. And I just thank God for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to beg and plead them to do their particular assignments. I mean, sometimes they're here before I am, because they love doing what they're doing. And I'm blessed. The Media Center, Allegheny East Conference is blessed to have such talented
Indeed.
technicians and talented individuals working for them.
And Charles, you think we're going to let you get away?
I know, right? I'm
Yeah,
waiting for him to
yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Man
right.
behind the
And,
black curtain.
Yeah, the Charles who we
Great
don't
wizard.
see.
Yes.
The wi-
Captain.
I'm gonna
He's
wear
the
my
guy doing
hat.
like this, and when Toto pulls the curtain back, we're like, oh, it's Charles.
Man behind the curtain. No,
Charles,
but
we
it
don't
couldn't
see
happen. It couldn't happen without these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you bring them
We can't
together.
have
I mean,
it
we don't
without
want to skirt off that too quickly. You bring the team
Chuck.
together. You make sure everything
And that
smoothly.
voice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
introductions,
All the voiceovers.
every introduction.
Yeah.
Made a difference.
Yes, that was. And listen, we don't take it lightly that Charles is sitting here with us every week for the podcast because we know his preference
Yes.
is to be
Yeah.
behind
is
the
to be
He
scenes.
sets up the whole thing, and he says, "Oh, am I on it?"
Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't know if our subscribers
They
know
tell
that,
that
but the
story.
very first podcast, I
And
was
now
like,
he's one
okay,
of
you
the
guys are good to go. Have
Hear
a
about the
nice
rest of
broadcast.
us.
Right?
Is Chuck gonna be
Yeah.
there today?
Yeah, so
But I appreciate my colleagues, and Latasha just said, no, you got to do this, and I'll tell you, I'm still not comfortable being on this side of the camera, but
doing all right.
Yeah.
And if I might add to our communications director,
Yes.
I think she is fabulous.
Yes,
All the messages she has to keep putting out and making sure
Well,
things are done and
let me-
everyone
let
is
me tell you
informed.
this. Yeah,
And
let me say this about our colleague. You folk, you have no clue.
Yeah, no clue.
As to how much information
Oh,
she
my
has to
goodness.
process.
Yes.
I mean, if being a communication director was all that she could do, well, wonderful. But she does so much in assisting the president.
Yeah.
She does so much to, to help with stitching together a lot of our programs.
All right, cut.
Communication,
Cut.
communications is not
over
all
again.
she does, but we do appreciate. She's a jewel,
Yeah.
folks.
she is.
Look,
Appreciate
in all the other
Yeah.
conferences that are like looking at her work,
Yeah.
she ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And I've
Thanks,
never
man.
seen her flustered or overwhelmed. She just wears it so well.
Yeah, and sometimes
It may
that
be
makes
know where to
internal,
hide.
but
sometimes that makes me sick. I wish she would just say,
Charles, I
I'm just
hear
not
you,
gonna
man.
do this.
Sometimes we all are just complaining in the room, like, why don't you complain with us?
she just watches.
Oh, it's gonna be okay.
I think it's, you know what it makes me, I always think about our constituents because it's easy to kind of be overwhelmed by everything that's going on, but at the end of every camp meeting, the comments that come in the chat about how people were transformed and how much it's like, wow, it's worth it. I keep reminding myself it's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to be
Right.
worth it in the end, and
Right.
that's what pushes us.
Right.
But I know we kind of gone over a little bit, but I do want us to end by giving our predictions about Camp Meeting 2023. You guys think we're going to be back live for the 10 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we're going to be live more than just one day.
Okay.
Don't fool yourself. We're going a full 10 days on the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I was just reminded that I forgot 2 important names
What's that?
on my team.
Yeah. I was gonna say-
Shelley Williams.
Yes, you did a great
Shelton.
job. Shelton.
Shelton came in from out of town. I called him at the last minute because we were a little short of staff, and he is outstanding audio engineer.
Shelton.
He said, "I'll be there."
Yeah,
I'll
he
be
did
there.
the
And
youth
Yeah,
side.
he
Yeah,
did the
he was doing
he
his
did all
thing.
of the sound in the gym for the youth.
Yep.
And we also had one other that George O'Brien.
Yes, George.
George
George O'Brien.
Yeah,
think
let me
I
tell
see
you,
him.
There
There he goes. Turn the camera. No, the dirt.
George had. Oh, he's over in the
Yeah,
booth
that's
already.
what I see.
Oh my
He's over
goodness!
there.
You see, he's George. You've been bitten. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just come back and sit in the booth, just to sit in the booth. But he really stepped it up because we were really technically shorthanded. We really were. We usually have a
they
lot
gonna
more
get-
staff out here on the
Let's
floor.
get a tight
There he is,
shot on
Wave
George.
to
Let's
the
get a
people, George.
George.
you're
Yep.
on camera.
You might as well
You're
wave
on
now.
camera.
You're on candid camera.
Oh, he hates that. Look at him. Yeah, but George stepped in big time, and I know that all of the staff members knew what they were doing because I didn't have to come out one time.
Yeah. We ain't see you.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't-
had to
not
ask
one
him that.
time.
Is Chuck okay?
Yeah, but you know what? I've had people tell me, they said, when we see you walk into the pavilion, it's like, uh-oh,
What's going on?
Something's wrong.
But I sat there with my walkie-talkie and my cell phone. I was monitoring, and they just took care of it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, people think that I'm somebody because I know Chuck. So if something goes out, I get a message. Can you find out why we can't hear on the conference line? I know you know how to find out.
And also, one of the introductions was done by the introduction. There's another. I know you introduced people. There was a. Who else introduced?
Marquita?
Marquita. Oh, yeah,
Marquita
Marquita.
introduced.
She's a top
Beautiful
flight
voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not only a great singer, she's been doing operas this year.
Nice.
I mean, high end. In fact, she's up in New York now, doing an opera in New York. But she's our voiceover for the introductions. And she also does voiceover for the Sabbath School lesson.
Right.
We still have a project with the North American Division and General Conference, and she and myself voice the Sabbath School lesson for the Amazon Alexa.
Nice.
I know these people, man. I know these people.
Well, I see Daphne she says bring back the 10 days. So that's one
Yeah.
prediction.
happen.
I think it's going to come
It's gonna
back.
happen.
I think next year.
I think it's going to come back.
I
full
wish
You know what
we-
that means, though?
Go ahead.
That means Camp Pitch is going to be 4 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
But you love it, so it would be
You love the 1 week.
Yeah, you
We'll
love
see
the
how
1
you
week.
feel about it.
Listen, I said the same thing to my act team. They were like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing." I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, you missed the 10 days."
Yeah.
This is warm up. Yeah.
Because remember with the kids, the
GP,
children's
what you
ministries, they get them every day.
Was the trailer.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It
So
gets
putting
real.
up tents again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
Is,
water.
is this what you really want, Allegheny East? Please let us know in the chat. Please let us know.
Listen, what we're gonna do next year is pull back this year. We're gonna rerun this when Justin was like, "This is Then we're gonna see him again. He's gonna be like this.
Whose idea was this? Yeah.
But still,
We'll see.
seriously, everything you said just is true. The camaraderie with the pastors, it's all really
Did we
there.
mention our camp superintendent?
Marcus
No.
Harris.
Superman himself.
Dr.
He
Marcus
said
He had a good boss.
Harris
Yeah.
was Camp Soup,
Yeah.
Yes.
aka Camp Supervisor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was leading us all week long, and he was in constant communication with the administration,
Right.
and they just worked so well together.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Dr. Marcus Harris.
Yeah.
For
And I learned through
Yes.
following him and doing promos for getting ready for camp. He has an enormous job. On this.
Yeah.
You're talking about campus safety.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a lot to be concerned.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because when we have the full 10-day camp meeting in person, it's like setting up a small city.
Yes. And Camp Soup is the mayor of the city.
Right. Right.
He runs everything.
Well, there's so many people that deserve to be thanked for their contribution in camp meeting. I mean, it takes so many people coming together, doing their part. Even those who were doing the sign language interpretation, Rosalind, Rhonda.
Yes.
It's like you realize how many people it takes to bring something like this together and to help it to be successful. So we want to thank all of you, anyone who had any part to do with camp meeting, those who were just watching online or in here, making it all what it was, because it's nothing without the people. It's nothing without all of you.
Indeed.
And I have to admit that people say, oh, it was only one day for you guys. It should have been easier for you, whatever. I feel right now.
I felt like we went through 10 days.
I feel like we were 10 days in person right now.
Yeah.
And you know, when we came in here this morning to, finish wrapping up and getting ready for the show, I know for me, I mean, some of us were like really grumpy, like, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a recovery day, right? Here we are. Prolonging experience.
But we had a good time. We had a good time. Look forward to it next year.
Yeah.
And let's thank our president for his vision.
Yes.
All
Because
right.
he has to choose the speakers and let the department leaders, also bring their autonomy to it so that everything
Martin
is
is
whole.
back.
It always takes a
Mr. Martin in
top
the Treasury
visionary
Department, making
into-
sure those checks go out.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I know you had to notice that Lawrence Martin was all over this campus.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the
I saw
first
him a
time I've
few
seen him.
times.
I was like,
all
okay, I
over.
saw Miss Martin here, Miss
And
Martin
he had on
there.
shorts
And
today.
he's checking everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you say
checking.
he was chippery?
No, he's
Checking.
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 He was checking everything. Not checking up, but checking in
Everything.
to say, okay, you got everything you need. You need something else.
It
You
was
got
great to
whatever.
see him
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
He was our angel during Camp Pitch. Like literally, when Elder Martin shows up, we're like,
Can I have a Slurpee, please?
But no, it was great. It was great. I think we could probably talk about camp meeting all night, but we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Okay?
yeah, half has not been told, but we look forward to 2023
Yes.
and what will unfold then. But until then, we'll hold on to the memories from this year.
That's right. We'll be sharing more of those memories. I took some pictures. A lot of other photographers were out here taking pictures. Well, I won't consider myself a photographer, but the great skilled photographers were taking pictures, and we're going to start sharing all of that online on our website so you can relive this week, the day that we had yesterday and the wonderful experience. All right, guys, it's been great. We enjoyed chatting with you live. We'll be back again next Sunday, not under the pavilion, however, but we'll be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. So please tune in. We can't wait to meet you there. All right, guys.
Subscribe.
Have a wonderful
Subscribe.
week.
Yes.
Take care, family. Be
All right.
blessed.
Bye-bye.